Women in 2025 can't afford to be low maintenance. If you're tired of dealing with people that drag you down, that kill your dreams, that make you feel drained, and you want to get on the road to achieve your dream life as a woman. You want to get on the road to get your dream partner, get your dream friendships, get your dream job. Essentially, make your dream life exist. You have to get higher maintenance. When you're a low maintenance woman, what's going to happen is that you're going to attract low energy people. This can be low energy friends and family. It could be low energy men especially. And these are the exact people that will drag us back into our nightmare realities. And the reason why these people are so attracted to us being low maintenance is because low maintenance also means low boundaries and high tolerance. The reason why being low maintenance as a woman makes you attract narcissistic people, people that want you to people please, and generally low energy people that want to steal your energy, is because the bad people that you don't want to attract see low maintenance as you being wide open. When you become higher maintenance, aka you start caring a little bit more about waking up in the morning, putting on a nice outfit, doing a little bit of makeup, making sure your hair doesn't just look a mess, or not just wearing sweatpants out the house. When you do this, suddenly you'll see people being a little more angry towards you. The people that usually wanted to approach you to give you things to do are now questioning you or looking you up and down. This is because when you go from being low maintenance to high maintenance, suddenly you actually have a physical guard up. You actually have physical boundaries that make it very clear to people that you put effort and time into yourself and you prioritize yourself. And when people see that you actually prioritize yourself in the way that you put yourself together, they realize that you are way less easily manipulated. The most easily manipulated women are the women that do not know what they want. If you're wearing being low maintenance as a badge of honor, you're never doing your makeup, you never wear jewelry, you always wear sweatpants, you're saying you are indifferent, which means you do not care, which means you do not know what it is that you want, which means you are easily manipulated. And because you do not put effort into yourself, you know what your intuition, your subconscious is going to tell you? It's going to make you feel guilty, which is going to make you want to do more for people that do not deserve your energy. This is exactly why men want low maintenance women. The men that want low maintenance women and are very adamant about like, oh, I want a low maintenance woman. You know how they say, oh, I'm going to take her swimming for the first date so I can see how she looks underneath. I want a low maintenance woman. Why can't you just admire your natural beauty? I want a woman who has natural beauty. These men do not want what's best for you. They do not want to maintain you. They do not want to maintain your femininity. They do not want to preserve your femininity. They want to gatekeep you from being able to reach your potential of beauty, your potential personality, so that they can isolate you and they can drain you from your energy, and then they can move on when they realize that you do not have any energy left to be the person that you were when you met them. This is exactly why so many men today are always raving about how they want a natural woman. They want a natural 10 out of 10. They want a woman who doesn't do too much, who doesn't need her nails done, who doesn't wear too much makeup, who couldn't even consider ever getting Botox or getting her lips done. They want that woman not because they actually admire natural feminine female beauty and respect it. They want that woman because she's easy to manipulate, because this woman does not put that much effort into herself. When a woman is low maintenance, that means that they have to put less money to make sure that that woman is interested in them. They can actually manipulate that woman to give them more energy more easily, because this woman is going to be wowed by the mildest of efforts because she does not put any effort into herself. They want a low maintenance woman because they don't want to have to maintain anything. They're literally telling you right then and there, they're not willing to maintain a woman. They're just here to take. Because any woman requires maintenance. Any woman requires reassurance, requires love to be able to grow and turn into an even better version of herself. And if she's not already giving that to herself by putting together her best outfit every single day, making an effort with herself, showing up for herself, she'll set herself up for people that are willing to do even less for her. I bet you know that there are some women out there that wear being low maintenance as some badge of honor. Yeah, I'm a low maintenance girly. I don't require getting my nails done. I don't require wearing heels. I don't need anything for my hair. When you as a woman tell people that you're low maintenance, or especially tell men laugh in their own heads because they're like, gotcha. They know that now they've got a woman that they can drain. Because this whole, oh, you need to be low maintenance, you shouldn't do so much about yourself, is the new age way of making sure that women have more of their precious time to spend on men. In today's world, we've been taught as women that in order for us to be considered a good enough woman, our time needs to go towards other people. AKA, we're not a good enough woman unless we take care of our children, we take care of our husband, we take care of the house. And unless we can master all of these things, along with emotional labor, because we're also always expected to be calm, happy, and smiling, there is no time for us to put effort into ourselves. When you have to have a full-time job, you have to be a wife, you have to be a mother, and you also have to be pleasant, and you have to take care of the house, there's no way you're gonna have time for yourself. And if you make time for yourself, you are considered bad. You are considered less of a strong woman. If you prioritize working a little less, making a little less, so you have a little more time to explore your creativity, put energy to yourself, take care of your mental health. If you choose not to date because you know what, you want to make sure that you work on yourself. If you choose not to have children because you want to make sure you work on yourself. If you choose not to cook and clean for someone that you've literally known for a week, because that's not your responsibility, and why should you put your time into someone who's literally shown you nothing? Suddenly you're a bad person. Suddenly you're high maintenance. Men use this modern feminism that we need to be these strong women that can handle it all, and if we don't handle it all, we are guilted into feeling like we're not enough of a woman, to make us spend way less time on ourselves and spend way more time on people that are not going to give us anything in return. This is exactly why they want a low maintenance woman, because this woman is willing to do everything for everyone else to make sure that they know that she is a good woman, because she's afraid of being guilted into feeling like she's a bad woman. This is exactly why the narcissists, the men who are toxic, the men who are not having any intentions at all about giving you anything for the time that you're giving them, they love a low maintenance woman. Because she's easier to guilt into doing more for them. She already doesn't have that time filled with putting effort into herself. This is actually something that we see very, very much happening in today's dating culture. A lot of people consider dating a hobby. They consider dating something that we all have to do, especially women. And this is where the concept of what's high and low maintenance also comes into play. Because yes, you can be a low maintenance person and still have a full face of makeup, have a lovely outfit every single day, but have zero boundaries when it comes to your personal time that you could spend making yourself richer, making yourself more educated, making sure that you're not around people that are going to drain you and actually take away the time and energy that you could spend on that outfit that you have time to spend on now. This idea that we need to be out there dating is of course stemming from the patriarchy, because men have realized that in order for women to be able to give their energy freely to men, we need to make it seem like you're gonna get massive FOMO if you do not date. This is exactly why dating is also such a major part of pop culture, dating from very early adulthood. This is also why dating shows are so big nowadays. This is also why there are so many dating apps that do a lot of promotion. Dating is commodification of women's time that they can invest into themselves so that they can heighten their boundaries and get a better life. If we convince women that in order for them to be good enough women, they have to be out there dating, and that needs to be a priority, that will make women believe that they need to have lower boundaries, they need to be lower maintenance when it comes to putting effort into themselves. As I said, you can actually be low maintenance and have a full face of makeup. Because yes, you can make yourself look beautiful every single day and go on many dates a week. But how many dates do you go on with yourself? How much time do you spend nourishing your mind? When society makes it seem like women have to go out there and date, women have less time to spend on making themselves more financially literate. They spend more time dating, making decisions around people that want to manipulate them instead of letting their frontal lobe develop. They're less likely to be emotionally intelligent because at a young age, you're not necessarily gonna be that. And if you're taught to date from a really young age, and you haven't learned to manage your own emotions and know that you are good enough by yourself, you understand that being alone is precious. You are more likely to end up with someone who's bad for you. You are more likely to give your time to men that do not want anything good for you and get stuck in trauma bonds that might be very hard to walk away from because you did not take that time to just be by yourself. You did not take that time to spend on becoming a better version of you. Because when we're forced to believe we need to go out and date, we will naturally be overstimulated. And when you come home from having to keep up with doing all of the things you need to do to be a good woman, do you have any time left for yourself? No. Do you feel drained? Yes. Do you feel like you need someone to help you emotionally? Yes. Have you just learned by society that the only way to do that is to be around other people? Yes. So you go out and seek dopamine from being around other people, toxic people, men. And that is how women get into a cycle of being energy ciphered over and over again. This is exactly why one of the best things you can do as a woman in 2025, if you actually want to achieve the goals, if you actually want to set yourself up for your dream life, if you actually want to get a partner that truly values you, because it absolutely is possible, you need to get as high maintenance as you possibly can. This will be an extremely daunting experience because when you become high maintenance, suddenly people will start not to like you. But these are not the people that are going to take you to where you want to go. These are the people that are mad that they no longer have access to you. These are the people that want to make you give your energy to them because they're not willing to level up to where you're trying to go. They just want you to give them freely. They have no intention of reciprocating towards you, and they have no intention of leveling themselves up so that they can match your energy. But when you become very intentional about saying, okay, I'm not going to date anymore. I'm going to take a moment where I'm not going to date. Even taking a moment where you do not talk to family, if possible. Where you do not talk to your friends like you used to. And you say, okay, I'm going to spend my time on myself. Because being high maintenance does not necessarily just mean you get your nails done. You wear a nice outfit. You put little earrings in your ears and you have your hair out and you smell good. They're definitely a big part of it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the power of looking high maintenance. But high maintenance is also you understand how much effort you have put into unpacking everything that you've possibly gone through, unraveling it, let it come out, and handling it. When you spend more time by yourself, when you stop oversharing what you're going through, oversharing that you're growing, oversharing every little thing that you think is unfair, that society done towards you, whatever it is that's on your mind. When you stop oversharing it with anyone, when you stop needing to get an opinion whenever you buy something, when you stop needing to just hear people's voices, whether that's from dating apps, whether that's from social media, wherever it's from, your intuition will start turning on. And you might see yourself become more emotional. You might see yourself become more angry. You might see yourself become more frustrated. This is not a bad thing. This is exactly where we're drawn to go back to the people that we get our emotional dopamine from. This is literally just putting a band-aid on a big wound. But when we instead let the wound air out, and we listen to our emotions, not judging them, not saying we're bad for having done what we did in our life, not saying we're bad people, not telling ourselves, I'm done with my old self, I'm gonna be high maintenance now. No, when you sit down and you listen to yourself and say, okay, I'm comfortable, I'm gonna let myself feel whatever I need to feel, and I'm gonna let myself feel it alone, suddenly you'll realize how much effort actually goes into making yourself a better version of yourself. And then you'll get an epiphany. You'll realize, I could have never done this unless I took the time to put effort into me. Unless I took the time to retreat back and say, okay, it's me time now. Unless you removed yourself from all of those roles that us women have been taught in modern day society, feminism, that we need in order to be good women. When you pull yourself back from having to be the good woman, the responsive woman, even the responsible woman, when you say, I'm not going to be any of those roles in your lives anymore. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be me for me. I'm going to take that energy and I'm going to hold it within myself. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not just going to give it to people, which is something that can also feel extremely uncomfortable. Not having to give your energy to people, not giving your energy. We're not used to holding that much energy that is extremely powerful. When we hold that energy, suddenly it would be like, oh, wow, there's a lot of energy here. Your body's not used to holding that energy because you've been taught not to. And then when you say, okay, it's my turn now, I realize how much maintenance goes into making sure that I am enough. I feel like the woman I deserve to be. I am enough of a woman by just existing. Suddenly your energy jumps from down here and up here. And then you've become energetically high maintenance because you realized that no giving to people, no people pleasing, no oversharing will ever make up for the peace that is being able to sit with yourself, make yourself happy in any aspect. And this is exactly why when you go through a mental glow up, an energetic glow up, you also usually go through a physical one. When people have the mental glow up of trying to, release all of the things that they've just pushed back in order to be the woman that society wants them to be, what usually happens is that the body lets go. The body lets you be. And for many people, that means that they end up losing weight or gaining the weight back that they need. Your body, the way your body works, the way your body responds will usually change because you've learned to calm down your own nervous system, which means you're probably not going to be reaching for dopamine from things that are not going to be good for you. But if you truly want to signal that you're high maintenance, we have to understand the law of association. This is why it's not always enough to be energetically high maintenance, especially if you are on your journey towards becoming better with your energy. You will need the help of the law of association. And what is the law of association, you might ask? It is the fact that people will associate you and push you towards a specific life, all depending on how you look. You can actually be so energetically high maintenance that you can wear the simplest gown. You can wear your hair without having done anything to it. You can be no makeup. You can be no anything. And your energy will still signal that you're high maintenance and people will still treat you accordingly. Think about someone like Buddha. But in this world that's very visual, and in a world where we're also very visual creatures, and us women have to learn to protect our energy and make sure we have this time and space to be able to actually learn the energetic high maintenance. We have to use the law of association to our benefit. When you dress up in a specific style, you send a specific signal. When you wear no makeup, no jewelry, haven't done your hair, you also send society specific signals. You're essentially not having that extra shield that could protect you and could make people send you in the direction of your dream life. This is exactly why you gotta always dress for the job you want. This is why I always recommend girls and women who want to have a more spacious, gracious, and a just more easy transition into being high maintenance energetically. I I suggest that these women become very comfortable with the fact that for a period, you might have to get into dressing feminine. You need to start doing your makeup. You need to start making sure that you look maintained. Because when you look maintained, when you take care of your looks, and I'm not talking you need to look like a Victoria's Secret model, but when you make an effort with yourself and you wear feminine, classy, nice clothes, people are going to accommodate you more. People are going to ask you fewer questions because they know they have to make an effort to be around you. The sad matter of the fact is, when you dress nice, especially when you dress feminine, people will ask less questions and people will do more. Because when you're dressed nice, people understand that they need to make an effort towards you in order to accommodate you. This is why, as a neurodivergent woman myself, I always tell neurodivergent girlies that if you want to get better accommodation by society, you cannot be telling everyone, oh my God, I'm neurodivergent, everything is so hard for me. The easiest thing you could do without having to change your personality is make sure you put more effort into your looks. Make sure that you wear a nice outfit. Make sure you dress feminine. Make sure you have your makeup done. It is sad that this is actually the truth, but the law of association is that if people see you being physically low maintenance, aka you do not put any effort into your outfits, you do not put any effort into the way you do your makeup, you do not put any effort into making sure that you look good, people will assume that you do not put effort into yourself, which will make people assume that you're easier to manipulate, that you would do more for them, and it will also make people less likely to push you towards the life that you deserve. When I dressed up in streetwear, a lot of the times I would get questioned a lot, also because I have 57 tattoos. Back when I was really into my streetwear, I hadn't done the emotional work on myself enough yet. And the way that I could tell that was that I was extremely stubborn about the fact that I'm not going to change my style. If people don't like the way I dress, they can just walk away. That attitude is a low maintenance energy attitude. That is a low energy attitude. It is an attitude that does not mesh very well with the whole idea that society needs to accommodate you better, and you can't understand why society won't accommodate you better and why society is always treating you badly. You have to dress for the job you want. You have to dress for the life you want. And if you want more grace, if you want a grace period where people just treat you nicely, open doors for you, make things easier for you, you have to be willing to dress a specific way. Using the law of association is something you can do strategically, aka it's using strategic masking to make yourself be able to be in better environments that will accommodate you better, that will make you have proximity to the life that you want so you can actually get it. It will also give you the peace of people accommodating you without you having to tell them to do so, because they will assume when you're dressed extremely femininely that you require accommodation. This is why I always tell women you need to use your pretty privilege and realize that you have pretty privilege and use it to your benefit. Saying that you're low maintenance, saying that, oh, it's not about looks, it's about brains, is literally just you doing exactly what patriarchy wants you to do. They want you to do more for everyone without getting anything back and wear it as a badge of honor so that everyone can see that you are the person who's willing to do that, so that everyone can get your energy. And this is not me telling you that you need to put all of your cool clothes on the shelf and never wear anything that expresses your personality again. No, never, ever. But if you are someone who is serious about getting your mental work in alignment, if you're serious about never wanting to be screwed over by society again, if you're someone who wants to make sure that you manifest the life that you truly want, if you're someone who's tired of being around narcissistic people, people that want you to be a people pleaser, if you want to have better boundaries, if you don't want to be the person who feels like you're giving and giving and giving without getting anything back, you're gonna have to be willing to sacrifice that part of you that wants to express yourself extremely freely as you are, to give yourself the peace of being able to find the version of yourself that actually hasn't been expressed yet. You need to kill your own true self, because everyone's always saying, well, this is my true self and I don't want to suppress my true self. You need to be willing to kill your true self, or at least let your true self sit a little bit in the back to be able to reveal your higher true self. To be able to reveal the version of yourself that can express yourself even better, that can actually get the energy that you deserve in order to express yourself better and get more. Turn your energy, your ideas, your existence into something that will maintain you. Be able to make money off the job you want. You have to remember, if you're someone who's unhappy with the life you're living right now, you're not expressing your true authentic self yet. You do not know 90% of what your true self is yet, because how would you be able to do that if you're struggling, if you do not feel like you have peace, accommodation? So the whole, oh, well, I don't want to change what I look like, I don't want to make sure I do my makeup for someone else. No, you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it so you can give yourself the grace period, the time, the energy, signaling to society, I am a dainty person who deserves to be taken care of. I'm a dainty person who needs accommodation. You need to do things for me. The easiest way to do that is through your looks. And then you can use that grace period to heighten your energy and heighten your energy and heighten your energy. Work on yourself, work on yourself, work on yourself. To the point where, you know what? Your energy is so high maintenance that you can do, wear, and be whoever you want to do and be and wear. You can do whatever. You can express yourself because you worked on yourself. Actually, that little grace period of you having to dress a little bit different just to make people see you in a specific way is going to give you the energy that you needed in order to be able to set boundaries, get your energy high maintenance. And then when you get out on the other side and you figure out, wow, I've really done a lot of self-work, you'll realize that no person's assumptions about you, no person's questions about you will faze you anymore. You can show up unapologetically as the person you are and the person you want to be. I will never ever recommend anyone to mask their personality, and I will only ever recommend you masking strategically to get a position where people will push you towards your dream life. I will not recommend you masking for maintenance. But if you look like you're high maintenance, if you have your nails done, if you have your makeup done, if your hair looks nice, you smell nice, you have a little dress on. Me, for instance, sometimes I'll cover my tattoos when I want to make sure people take me seriously in a specific way. If I was stuck on some, well, I need to be able to express myself exactly how I want to be, and if people can't handle me the way that I am, then they can just walk away. If I was stuck on that, I would have never seen that I can actually get to a point where I can wear whatever it is I want to wear. I can wear something that's not even my style and I'll still feel like me. That is the point where your power, your high maintenance power is the highest. When you can say, you know what, I can make that work for me. And when you get to that point, it will be so hard to manipulate you because you know exactly what you had to do to get to where you are. You know exactly the value of your energy. You know exactly the value of your time. You know exactly how people will literally switch up on you depending on what you wear. You know that you've got you. You know that in order to get the people that are going to be good for you, you need to also be good for you. And that's when you become extremely comfortable with being the bad woman. You become comfortable with being the gold digger, the high maintenance woman. Oh, you always need to have your nails done? You always need to have your makeup done? Oh, you're not going to leave the house in sweatpants? Oh, you just do it once. You don't have to be so high maintenance. Oh, you're not going to accept a walking date? You're not going to accept this and this and that? You're going to be like, no, because that's not my standard. I work too hard on myself. That's what the men don't want you to be. They want to say, oh, you should be guilty because you're a bad woman now. And you'll be like, oh, let me be a bad woman. Bad woman. I'm such a bad woman. Men are praised for being strategic. Men are praised for wearing a suit to the office and dressing for the job they want. But when women do it, when women dress for the lifestyle they want, when women dress for the treatment they deserve, suddenly they're gold diggers. Suddenly they're too high maintenance. Suddenly they're bad. Because you know what that means? It means that men don't have access to their energy. It means that men actually need to pour into us in order for us to be willing to open up. And that makes us bad in the eyes of patriarchy and men, because that means that we're not willing to just give and give and give our energy. We need reassurance, we need reciprocation, and we need someone and people around us that can maintain or level us up. That makes us bad people, because men, as I said before, are praised for being strategic, but when women do it, that's playing their game in their face. They don't want you to understand the power of being a beautiful woman. They don't want you to realize that you can use your pretty privilege to your advantage. They don't want you to realize these things. They want you to believe that brains matter more than beauty, so that you spent your whole life trying to prove to all of these men that are saying that brains matter more than beauty that you are so smart, because that means that they get access to your energy. When you get comfortable with saying, I'm a high maintenance, bad woman who only cares about my looks, not my brains, that's when you win. That's when you're the smartest woman. Because that means that you're telling people, both with your looks and also with your energy, that you're not low maintenance, you're high maintenance. And the way you're high maintenance is because you put effort into yourself. You see your own existence as worthy, even if you're not giving to anybody. And then you become the woman that you deserve to be. Being high maintenance will save you, but women in 2025 can't afford to be low maintenance.